They called her Mara of Cinderworld, a 17-year-old girl born on a planet so violent, so unforgiving, that most alien species classified it as uninhabitable. Acid rains, gravity 3 times Earth's, bone-crushing predators, and nights colder than deep space. Yet Mara survived there. No, she thrived. She was humanity's wild card in the Galactic Exchange program, a peace initiative to train Deathworlders to live among the more fragile alien civilizations. The hope was to integrate, to adapt. But what the Council didn't realize was simple. You don't tame a storm by putting it in a classroom. Mara's instructor was Commander Virek, a genetically enhanced alien from the planet Seren 5, tall, blue-skinned, elegant, and built like a sculpture. He had trained warriors from 16 galaxies. He had dismantled living war machines with bare hands. But he had never trained a human girl from a death world. Day 1, she broke the gravity simulator. Day 2, she ripped a sparring drone's arm off and used it to beat another. By the end of the week, the alien cadets avoided eye contact with her. She wasn't violent for fun. She was violent by nature. Then came Day 12, the day of the incident. In front of the entire squad during a combat demonstration, Mara refused to yield. Virek, in a rare lapse of control, struck first, not to kill, just to humble. His glowing fist cracked straight into her face. Her nose shattered with a sickening snap. Blood sprayed. The room went silent. Everyone thought it was over. Mara just smiled. Through blood, through pain, she wiped her mouth with her wrist and said, "You hit like a moon-born slug." Then she lunged. And in that moment, the galaxy learned what a Deathworlder really was. She broke his rib, dislocated his shoulder, and left the commander of Seren 5 twitching on the floor, gasping for breath. Security bots rushed in. Sirens blared. The Council demanded her removal. But Virek? He said just one thing from the medbay. "Don't punish her. Train her, or she'll burn us all." That was the day the galaxy stopped laughing at humans, and Mara's war had only just begun. After the incident, Mara was locked. Away, alone in a transparent containment, cell buried in the deepest layer of the orbital training station. The walls shimmered faint blue, pulsating with energy fields that scanned her body every hour. She wasn't being detained like a student. She was being quarantined like a weapon. Above her, in the High Council chamber, panic echoed through the air. "She's a human threat!" She hospitalized one of the most advanced instructors in the quadrant. This is not a child. She's a walking extinction event. But Commander Virek, his left arm still in a synthetic sling, sat quietly in his hover chair and repeated the same 2 words. "Train her." There was no fear in his voice, only awe. Mara had offered no apology, no explanation. She just stared through the energy field toward the cold void of space. There was a storm inside her, one that no one in that station could understand. She wasn't here to integrate. She wasn't here to learn peace. She was born in a place where peace was suicide. Then the door hissed open. Her new trainer entered, Colonel Varnox, a cybernetically enhanced war veteran with armor fused into his skin, a face half covered by metallic implants, and eyes that burned like ion fire. "You're human," he growled. "But there's something else inside you." He circled her like a predator. "If you think knocking out Virek means you've won anything, you're mistaken. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of your reckoning." Mara stood up slowly, wiped dried blood from her nose, and looked him dead in the eye. "Reckoning?" she said coldly. "I'm just getting warmed up." From that day, her training became torture. Varnox didn't hold back. He pushed her through drills designed to break minds, simulations built for elite soldiers, and pain thresholds meant for machines. She never screamed. She never begged. Every cut made her sharper. Every bruise made her faster. Every fall made her more dangerous. Within weeks, she began outperforming alien cadets who had been in training for years. She could survive in zero-oxygen chambers longer than a Kralin beast. She shattered combat AI scores that were previously considered unbeatable. Her brain adapted, learned, evolved with every second. But the Council had stopped watching her stats. They were watching something else, something they didn't want to admit. The galaxy was no longer preparing her for survival. It was preparing to survive her. The cold air of the orbital station felt suffocating after months of relentless training. Mara's body was a battlefield, every muscle torn, every nerve stretched to its limit. But her eyes burned with a fire no pain could extinguish. This was no longer just survival. This was war. Colonel Varnock stood before her, his voice hard as steel. Today you leave this cage. Outside, the world doesn't care about your strength or pain. It only respects victory. The trial zone was a simulated hostile terrain, a replica of Mara's home planet. Cinderworld designed to test her limits. Acid rain sprayed from hidden nozzles. Gravity thrummed at triple Earth's pull, and mechanical predators lurked in the shadows. Mara stepped forward, the weight of the armor pressing against her battered frame. Her breath was steady. Every step was a reminder of what she had lost and what she had yet to destroy. Hours passed like years as she faced ambushes, traps, and unending threats. Each victory came at a cost. Every scrape, every burn, every shattered bone was etched deeper into her soul. Back in the control room, Varnox and the Council watched silently. Some feared what Mara was becoming. Others saw a weapon beyond their control. When Mara finally collapsed at the trial's end, bloodied but unbroken, her eyes met Varnox's with a challenge. "Is that all you've got?" The galaxy had just witnessed the birth of a legend. Mara wasn't just a survivor, she was a force of nature, a living storm no one could tame. The galaxy wasn't just watching Mara, they were whispering. In the polished halls of the Galactic Council, fear had blossomed into something darker. Paranoia. Rumors spread that Mara's strength was not a gift, but a curse, a ticking time bomb that could obliterate entire worlds. Council members argued fiercely behind closed doors. "Control her or eliminate her," demanded Senator Krylos, his eyes cold as ice. "No," countered High Chancellor Arissa. "We need her. She's the key to surviving the expanding Zelnath threat." Meanwhile, Mara was sent on covert missions to the outer colonies, places ravaged by alien insurgents and cosmic plagues. Each mission tested not only her skills but also her loyalty. On one such mission, she discovered a dark secret. The Council itself had made deals with ruthless warlords, sacrificing colonies to maintain power. The very people who called for peace were poisoning the galaxy's future. Betrayal hardened Mara's resolve. She was no longer just a pawn. She was becoming the galaxy's reckoning. Mara stood at the edge of a ruined moon colony, her boots sinking into ash and bone. The air smelled of burned metal and dried blood. Alien refugees wept in broken shelters, their children coughing through smoke-filled air. And all of it, sanctioned by the Council. She had seen the signed orders. She had decrypted the data herself. The so-called Galactic peacekeepers were playing a double game, arming one side while pretending to save the other. Entire planets were being sacrificed for balance. Mara didn't cry. She clenched her fists. She returned to the orbital base, changed. Not just hardened, but awakened. Colonel Varnox noticed it in her silence. In the way she looked through people instead of at them. In the way she no longer asked, "What's the mission?" She asked, "Why?" And then, without warning, they came. The Zelnath, the galaxy's most feared ancient race, once thought extinct, launched a sudden strike on the outer rim. Their weapons dissolved ships in seconds. Their war beasts crushed cities. Dozens of planets fell in a matter of hours. Panic spread. The Council demanded Mara lead a counterstrike. They handed her a fleet and the title of Galactic Commander. But she only said one word. "No." They were stunned. "You created this war," she said. "Now you want me to fix it? You want a Deathworlder to clean up your political filth?" Then she walked away. No one dared stop her. That night, Mara hijacked a stealth ship, left the base, and vanished into the stars. But she wasn't hiding. She was planning. Because the war had already started. And now she'd fight it her way. The stars blurred past her stolen ship like burning threads. Mara was silent in the cockpit. Her eyes locked on a single blinking red marker. Council base. Again, Z, the hub where the Council had stored weapon contracts, off-record prisoner exchanges, and genocidal war orders. No one had ever dared touch it. But Mara was no longer part of anyone's chain of command. She was no longer a student, no longer a soldier, no longer human in the way the Council understood. She was a rogue fire, and she was about to burn the rot out of the galaxy. She dropped into the outer orbit under stealth, bypassed defense satellites with ease. She had built her own algorithms, trained on Council firewalls for months. When the base's AI detected her ship, it was already too late. Mara crashed through the hangar like a meteor, alone, unarmored, wielding only gravity blade, gauntlets, and a sidearm, crafted from Cinderworld alloy. Alarms blared. Security mechs swarmed, but she didn't stop moving. She tore through the first wave, blade arcs painting the air with sparks and oil. Her eyes glowed like molten iron. The second wave of soldiers, organic and armed, tried coordinated attacks. She dismantled them one by one, using their own formations against them. In 12 minutes, she reached the central core. There, behind blast-proof glass, sat Council Overseer Terran trembling, watching her on surveillance. "You're making a mistake," he stuttered into the comms. Mara looked into the lens. "You already made it." She uploaded a virus into the data vault, a virus she had coded. Herself, designed not to destroy, but to broadcast. Every secret, every backroom deal, every planetary betrayal. Within seconds, the truth spilled across the galaxy, on every screen, every transmission frequency. And in that moment, across 100 systems, the legend of Mara became something more than fear. It became hope. The truth had been unleashed. Across thousands of star systems, from mining colonies to royal halls, the hidden crimes of the Galactic Council blazed through every channel. Mara's name became a revolutionary anthem. On the fireworld of Valak Prime, slaves tore down their masters' banners chanting, "Deathworlder walks with us." On the frozen moons of Kira 4, children painted her symbol in blood on armored walls. On Saren 5, Virek's home, soldiers laid down arms and muttered, "She was right." But in power's darkest corners, the Council retaliated. They branded her a terrorist. They activated sleeper assassins in every quadrant. They placed a bounty so high, entire planets were willing to hunt her down for a piece of it. But they weren't fast enough. Mara struck first. She didn't build an army. She became one. Using stealth tech, forbidden AI, and allies she had liberated from black site prisons, she began dismantling the Council's strongest outposts. One by one, quietly, precisely. Her methods were terrifying. She didn't seek surrender. She wanted permanent erasure of corruption. Yet beneath it all, something else stirred. A signal. Faint, non-Council, non-Zelnath, older, deeper. A frequency that spoke directly to Mara's mind, waking her at night with whispers in languages she never learned but somehow understood. It called itself the Hollow Star. Varnox, still watching her from afar, saw it too. He decrypted fragments from ancient archives and whispered, "We thought she was the storm, but maybe she's just the spark." Because beyond the Council, beyond even the Zelnath, something was coming. And it wasn't afraid of Mara. It was waiting for her. The Hollow Star wasn't a place. It was a being, or what was left of one. Buried beyond the veil of known space, drifting in a forgotten region where light itself seemed afraid to exist. The Hollow Star pulsed with impossible consciousness. It wasn't alive in the way flesh or metal were alive. It was old data given divine form, a galactic failsafe, a god born from logic and war. And now it wanted Mara. She stood before it, her ship anchored in a swirling black nebula, the cockpit frozen in time, systems failing, her mind filled with static, flashes of ancient wars, crumbling civilizations, species torn from time. "You are not our enemy," the voice echoed in her skull. "You are our completion." Mara gritted her teeth. "What the hell are you?" "We are the Architect's last code, a failsafe meant to erase what cannot evolve." The Council failed. The Zelnath corrupted, even your kind, was not ready. But you broke the chain. Mara understood now. She wasn't just a fighter. She was a test, and she had passed. But with the passing came the offer. Merge with the Hollow Star, become the new directive. Reset the galaxy, burn the rot, rebuild the stars. In that moment, billions of lives hung in the balance. She could ascend, end all suffering, or she could remain human, with all its pain, flaws, and hope. She stood silently in that eternal dark, the weight of stars pressing on her soul. And then she whispered, "No gods, no resets. We fix what we broke ourselves." She turned her back to the hollow star, and it let her go. Years later, the galaxy rebuilt itself under new rule. Not of council, not of Zelnath, but of cooperation born through pain. Mara vanished. Some say she died. Others say she became myth. But on ruined moons and battle-scarred worlds, children still whisper her name when they stand against tyranny. Deathworlder, the girl who was born in fire and walked away from godhood so the rest of us could live.